My name is Anwar Chirakadil. I'm currently working as a Chief Technology Officer at the Kobayashi Maru program within United States Space Force. So we host our platform, on Azure, Kubernetes, and all the stuff for our customers, so they can get to path to production. So I oversee, from a role standpoint, our technology roadmap, the vision, the 6 to 9 months roadmap and vision around the program, to making sure that we are aligning our technology and processes to make sure our customers are successful on our platform, and making sure that they have everything they need to get to production and deploy multiple times a day to production. We have about 90 plus folks working in our environment. That's not including our customers. If you take into customer, that's about 500 plus people. Based on what I have done at Kessel Run program, one of the Air Force program that I work with, and Platform One, another Air Force program, they're all self-hosting Mattermost. So that was another, key decision for us to look at is our data sovereign, like being able to control our data, that, all the messages and stuff, and making sure that it's not going through an external system, and then having the ownership of the data that we have and control from that standpoint. So that's why Mattermost came into picture, because you can self-host Mattermost, unlike a SaaS solution where there's no concept of self-hosting. One of the features they really like in Mattermost is the ability to group your, channels on the sidebar. You can say this team and that and etc. So that is something there, a refreshing change for a lot of people is, you can have in favorites, but you can also have grouping of different things, right? So people, use threads a lot. So it's great to see that that feature is fully maintained and stuff like that. And the integrations, right? We are adding more and more integrations, but we can add with more confidence right now with integrations, because it's vetted. The plugins are vetted from a marketplace standpoint. Yeah, if you're maintaining it, we could continue to have folks actually accidentally leaking, CUI data into a non-CUI system. For a program like us, it could have, severe impact, because if you look at it, a couple of instances was hacked about a year ago or something. I recall that, incident where somebody was able to get into a customer workspace and post data. So if you think about that, if it were hacked and it's a SaaS solution, there could be a chance that some adversaries get to know about our program or all the things we are doing and use that information to their advantage to, attack us more or get into infiltrate our own systems internally. So it's like a security, mostly a security concern. In the case of where we are self-hosting, Mattermost, the chances somebody can really get into is very tough, because we have what we call defense in depth, and very shared multiple layers of security for somebody. First of all, they need to go through a vetting process of a 2875, which goes through background checks, etc. And then, they have to fill out the forms, and somebody has to sign, hey, this is person is background verified, etc. Now it's more challenging or more difficult, because it's a self-hosted solution, to be able to do that kind of thing. So even if somebody was able to get on, the data, they still won't be able to get into our system. Versus SaaS offering, we couldn't afford that. If somebody could get into one of the workspaces, they could actually, go into other places and get into our internal systems through those information. So it's a real concern. One of the things we were want to look at this concept of playbooks and incident response management. I think that is one of the cool features that I've seen with Mattermost, being able to manage your incident in one place, integration with call and all the history in one place instead of having in multiple different places. So, and then the playbooks, right? That's another features that we really want to use. So that's another thing. We are, like you said, what are the use cases you're doing with Mattermost, which one of them is the playbooks feature. And then what's next is definitely getting to know more about the incident response process within Mattermost. that is going to be a really use case, because we host a platform for our customers, and we do have incidents in our, where something is down, and then we want to manage that incident process where all the platform teams are in one call. There's history, there's, like back and forth conversations happening in one single place, and then you can go look at RCAs and stuff like that. So those are the two, the playbooks and the incident response process is what we truly want to look at next from a Mattermost standpoint. But it's a disconnected experience. Today, like I said, right, it's somebody posts a message and then they go to a Google Meet call outside, created, not connected it. And then there's conversation happening there that's not tracked. So it'll be in Google Chat there. And then that conversation is not tracked in terms of, okay, what happened, what are the sequence of events, etc. Then there's Jira tickets that gets created. Again, there's conversation happening there. So it's in disconnected, disparate places of conversations. With incident response, I want to bring it in one place where there's a dedicated channel called, incident hyphen something. And then people can go look at what happened exactly, how do we resolve this? And it's searchable. And it becomes a knowledge base that is searchable for everybody else in one place, right? All the conversations. So next time something like that happen, they can go search. Okay, what happened there? What do we do to how to solve it? What are some of the conversation that happened related to it? So that is a thing we're looking for. Right now, it's a disconnected experience, and that's the another really must-have feature that we currently all the developers in our internal as well as external developers are looking forward to make use of in Mattermost is that the call feature where you can do screen sharing and do pair programming. So, and in addition to integrations like Google Calendar, the Jira integration where you have visibility into your um, tickets that's being created for all the support stuff or your stories, and then GitLab commits integration where you get real-time visibility into the code being tracked against a specific feature. And then also most importantly, Grafana alerts. We have alerts for various platform things coming in from Grafana, which wasn't something we could do. Now with Mattermost, we can actually truly get those Grafana alerts going so that people can be on top of all the platform reliability and platform features and stuff like that. Users are more vetted before they get a Mattermost account, and then integration of where the source of truth actually lied about who's who and what exactly. For example, right now it's tightly connected to our single source of truth called Active Directory, and where what a person has, what permission, etc. Right now, it's a single source of truth for everything. Everything is connected to Active Directory and LDAP, which is a great, from a benefit of this transition is that you don't have two sources of truth of who has access to what. And then it also, from a process standpoint, improved our onboarding and offboarding process too, because now onboarding, you're created in Active Directory, offboarding, you're activated in Active Directory, which automatically deactivates your Mattermost access and etc. Which just makes streamlines the process on our service desk team, support team. Versus previously you had to go onboarding Okta, offboarding Okta, onboarding Active Directory, offboarding Active Directory. So again, disconnected experiences there. Now it's a streamlined single source of truth. Business value, of course, is it's a lot cheaper to host it, but the business value we still get is that we have more control on what data we share and how we share, where we store it, etc. And then, but there's also operational, a little bit of operational overhead that we take on, even but at the end of the day, it's still much better because for every single thing, we had to wait for several days of support tickets to come in. And then we had multiple different workspaces that was so challenging to manage. With Mattermost, we have single workspace. So from a business value standpoint, less burden on our support teams, service desk, even with an additional burden on the Kubernetes team to host it and maintain it. The business value is still that a single workspace, single streamlined set of users, more fine-grained control on what and exactly what's going on inside, and most importantly, of course, the data. Right now, we own the data. So all the chats and stuff, it's ours to own, and nobody else can look at it without explicit permission. The knowledge base aspects of it, one of the things we are looking at is integrating locally hosted or Azure OpenAI to integrate with Mattermost, where you have all this data, all this stuff in here, and what is the potential of feeding that data into a large language model, and we can use our own data to answer quick questions about, for example, how many incidents we had in the last 6 months, right? But if you're doing that manually, you'll have to go through all the incident specific channels, figure out what actually happened, etc. Versus now integrating something like the AI helper. I think Mattermost has a plugin that you maintain that actually, we're looking to, utilizing that to get that knowledge base built up and then ask questions and stuff like that. And the other one, the one I actually forgot to mention, that we have all these plugins, but there's an assurance from the Mattermost marketplace saying that Mattermost actually vets these plugins for securities check, which actually gives us this additional level of confidence in that, hey, if you're bringing a plugin to our ecosystem, it's actually, there's a vetting process that happened behind the scene for this. So that's an added benefit. You said the side effect or, of this change was one of those, the improved security posture for us. For us, it's important that we use a self-hosted, AI or an AI that has a FedRAMP, like Azure AI, like OpenAI, it's actually FedRAMP high right now, which is certified for us to use. So we can use the hosted one. So what the looking at, use of Azure AI, OpenAI service, and then along with the, AI ops integration that Mattermost has, to be able to make use of our data, make everybody smarter and efficient. Like, for example, leadership, right? You might be in 50 different channels on a daily basis, and you don't have all the time to go read everything. But summarizing those channels, using AI would be really make everybody more efficient and productive. Even if you're on a leadership, you're at a PM, product manager, and you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with your own developers and stuff, and you're away for a few hours, you want to catch up on all the things that happened. That would be, one of those ways where we can make our team more productive. If you're a startup or something, just getting started with a simple, messaging platform for you to make your teams productive, start with Mattermost open source first. And then once you realize and grow in size, I would just go into the enterprise for all this, capabilities that brings in. But start simple, evaluate it, and make sure that it's the right fit. But from a mission critical standpoint, any organization, right? Communication is the most important thing. You want your teams to be productive and delivering on, business outcomes and etc. And for that, communication is very, very important. Are you in a highly regulated, compliant environment? Then, look at Mattermost as the first class thing that you should look at. From a messaging platform, communication platform, collaboration platform, and etc. Because it brings a lot of value on the self-hosted use cases. Even if it's not in DoD, but even in private sector, commercial organization, right? It's truly important that you choose something like Mattermost. But so far, it works. It gets the job done.